So you can't see who's in here, but I was going to say good morning. It still is morning. Good morning, everyone. I know we've been moving targets on these meetings, and last month we had a nice effort in cleaning up the garden club along with Brockton Redevelopment Authority and some other staff members. It was a great day, and there was also some additional support on Keep Brockton Beautiful Day. But we're going to start this meeting and just want to welcome everybody. If you are on the meeting, if you can just rename yourself and who you're representing. But in the office here today with me is Ann Beauregard on Brockton Garden Club, along with Nelson Fernandez. And I know all of you have been, I know all of you have met Nelson one way or the other. Just because we have a couple things that we're going to be losing some folks early on. Just want to give the board meeting update. I know Hugo, we're putting you on the spot because we really haven't gone over this, but we did it at our executive committee. I don't know if you just want to give a quick overview of our finances. I don't know. Oops. Well, yeah, he is muted. But anyway, let me give you at least the update.
Sorry, Mary. I was trying to unmute myself and I couldn't get it to work. I'm
Thank
here.
you, Hugo. Perfect. Thank you. Would you mind giving the quick update? Thank you.
Sure. As of today, we have $36,343.27 in our account. Obviously, that includes the recent deposit from the Common of Mass for $26,520. Ongoing financial activities are constant contact, Verizon phone bill, and website maintenance. New activities include our consultant, Nelson Fernandez, who's working on the Business Improvement District, as well as some small business consulting, and other costs include some small clerical administration.
Thank you, Hugo. And for those that you have heard me talk about this for over a year, just again, thanks to Senator Brady and the legislative delegation that the Downtown Brockton Association received an earmark of $50,000. It is on a reimbursable basis, and but we have been using those funds to, in fact, be able to hire Nelson to continue the work of the Business Improvement District. So I don't know if there's any questions that anybody else has about the financial fiscal update. So Anne, for those who may not have heard, Anne was asking whether this is going to be a continual allocation. The answer is no. It was a one-time economic development bond bill through the ARPA funds. But with the hiring of Nelson as a consultant and working with Paul Omano from Old Colony Planning Council on grants, as well as the team of the executive committee, that's for those, just to review, for those who are on the executive committee, besides myself, it's Amanda Glennon, it's Megan Fournier, it's Hugo D'Amatos, it is Shalia Gilmer from Black Owned Brockton, and it is, I'm missing somebody. You know, if I'm missing somebody, you know what it is. So we do meet on a monthly basis. Oh my goodness. You joined the meeting. Oh, Paul Romano has been joining us as well. But we meet and we talk about some of the issues that are kind of subsurface for these meetings, so we can really kind of update you along the way. We've made some great progress, and you're going to hear more about that from the Business Improvement District from Nelson. So that's a fiscal update. If there are any questions, we are transparent. We have our filings. We deal with our accountant and our auditors, and we get filings, those that we need to, and we're fiscally sound at this point. But again, the idea is that we're probably going to be using those funds in other ways and be a little bit more creative in activities with, of course, the work of the residents that are being moved downtown, as well as those that have been here. So with that, I want to move on to the DBA membership. We have had a few new members. Thank you. It's slow going. I will tell you that. I'm going to keep bugging, you know what, out of people to renew your membership. It's not a one-time membership. It is a yearly membership. It's either $50 or $100. From the last meeting that we did hold, thank you, Amanda, for putting it in the chat. For the last time we did, there was someone who was on that asked about how do we work with residents, and we're exploring how to, in fact, incorporate residents who have an interest. So we're working on it. We're looking, Nelson, in fact, is looking at other organizations and how they incorporate. I know Jonathan from Trinity is on, and perhaps working with the management company of the different residential developments. So, but please join if you have not. So I know that even governmental entities can join us because it makes a difference, and you're part of the downtown and the future of downtown. So there's the link, the membership, and we have a new member, Celia Insurance. So what we are doing, in fact, we switched insurance companies because we're a buy local. So we're using a Brockton insurance company, but they once were here and they moved out of downtown. Celia Insurance is a property owner and a business, and that is why we are moving with Celia Insurance. And I encourage all of you, if you are looking for insurance companies, to in fact buy local. So thank you for letting me do that little bit of a piece about memberships. Any questions about memberships from anybody? Again, they're annual. It's either 50 or 100. If you need an invoice, we will invoice you. If you need a reminder, you'll get those from us. So expectations. I think this is from about, becoming a member, again, on the membership. Just really are encouraging everyone to become involved, participate in these meetings. Thank you, the DBA membership. I knew there was something that was worked on. The attendance virtually, we really try to make this easy for everybody. We need your voice, as you have known that we did that SWOT analysis to get over 200 response about what we're looking for. That's not another one and done. That's a continual effort that we need to hear from you, and hear from whether you're a visitor, an employee, a property owner, a business owner. It doesn't matter. Your voice does count. And then I can't read what that last part was. Access, sorry. Oh, material access. So by becoming a member and that expectation, that gives you a foot in the door for doing a presentation in front of us. It's not exclusive. We try not to do that, but we really want to give members, if you become a member, we really want you to have that voice and have potentially an item on this agenda. So that's the expectations, and we will continue to, we'll look at our social media for this. Any questions about that for memberships or expectations? If not, I'm going to hand this over to Nelson to provide a business improvement district bid update. Can everybody hear us okay?
Yep.
Great, perfect, thank you, Nelson.
All right. Hello, everyone. Nelson Fernandez. So just a quick, very quick review on what the Business Improvement District is. Essentially, what we're trying to do is formalize a relationship between the downtown property owners and, by proxy, their tenants. This will give property owners a voice and a say in the future of downtown, and with the increased activity and programming, that will increase foot traffic, property values, and overall safety and well-being of downtown. It's a very popular initiative. Actually, just recently, New Bedford has gotten all of their signatures and are going up for their legislative authorization, which is the final step.
And they started after us.
And they started after us as well, correct? Also recently, within the last year, Newmarket, which is that sort of Mass and Cass area, very successful bid. And they have very similar circumstances with us as well. And then last week, I met with the executive director of Taunton's bid, a much smaller bid, but they've been around for about 12 years, have some great business-friendly programs, like a tax abatement program that they instituted downtown. Lots of events, lots of programming, and lots of businesses. They have a ton of restaurants and increased foot traffic downtown. Through her, we'll be reaching out to the New Market and Central Square bid since we have very similar, like I said, circumstances there. And they've been able to basically transform their downtowns within the last several years. Just a quick update on what we need. So there are a total of about 450 parcels in downtown. We need about 60% of those parcels, which is 207. That's our magic number. 270 parcels to sign on before we can go on to the legislative process at the end. So far, we have 50 parcels signed and 75 parcels on top of that, which have agreed to sign. So that puts us at about 28% total. Or if we're looking at it in terms of how much of that 60% have we achieved, we're about halfway there. So it's really close. Some of the property owners who have signed on that are part of those 50, Concord Square Development, so Ted Carmen, who has a Petronelli in the England building. Joffrey Anatoli has 3 projects, 47 West Elm, Standard Modern, and the new project on Montello. Brockton Area Transit, Joe Angelo's, David Brass with George's Towing. He has several parcels there. Vicenti's, Brockton Housing, Station Lofts with Jason Korb, Pretentious Plaza, Harbor One, Phil Cohen with Ideal Jewelry. Also has a really nice facade if you guys saw there. The Marion Family, Chamber of Commerce, NeighborWorks, Old Colony Planning Council, 19 Residences, which is 19 Main Street, and The Spot, which is Sam Chenette on North Main Street. Those have all signed. The ones that are in the process of signing, Brockton Area Workforce is signing this week, and 142 Main Street, which is Elvira David Tragarth there, is also signing this week. And then the bulk of it is the City of Brockton. So City of Brockton is the biggest property owners downtown with 57 parcels. So once we're able to get the city on board, that'll pretty much bring us right over the edge there. So what's next? So we're continuing to update the database with contact information. We do have a lot of property owners that aren't from the area, and we may be sending mail to their properties, but if you're not really active, a lot of these property owners will eventually get it maybe a month or two down the line. So we're updating that. We've been sending mailers to kind of cross-referencing the state database to get contact information on those and sending them directly. It could be a property company that they own, could be their residence, whatever's registered with the state. And on top of that, so the next step for us also is putting together an ambassador team. So we are looking for advocates of this initiative to help us essentially just feet on the ground, knocking on doors, meeting with property owners one-on-one, answering any questions that they may have. Currently, it's just myself doing that. I think we can build a small team, kind of go essentially block by block, knocking doors in, and introducing folks still to the bid initiative. Like I said, and answering questions. So for those on the call, I know there are a few property owners. If you have not received any of our communications, I will be reaching out to you. You can reach out to the DBA Brockton email address as well. We are looking for those support. And as we continue to sign on property owners, we're then asking those property owners, hey, who on this list can you help us get signatures for?
So, as you can just imagine, right? So when we were working on this probably over a year ago, it is a full-time job in itself. And then I keep adding a few more things to Nelson's plate. But the reality is this is really where our priority is. What's the difference between the DBA and the bid? It's all about resources, right? It's about hiring someone full-time to be utilizing and working with all the different groups. Oh, sorry, thank you. I know this is we don't have that owl. Thank you, Amanda. But it is, for those that, again, it's what we were doing was great, but it really was, hey, I've got a full-time job and then move on to whenever I can, or I see somebody. This really is dedicated to having a person, in this case, Nelson, representing us as the Downtown Brockton Association, to really sit down and talk about the bid and how it is a resource for us. The Downtown Brockton Association will never really go away. We're just going to be, again, it becomes a good partnership, and the contacts and information that we're getting through these meetings will eventually just make us stronger together. And as the city and private development are investing, we need to make sure we continue the priorities, keeping downtown safe and clean. And as we know, not just with Brockton but other communities, it's a tough fight because of where the budget may or may not be. In this case, these funds will all be utilized. And you may or may not have heard me, but I'm going to keep telling you that if I truly do believe that this is the right way to go. Old Colony Planning Council, where the building is owned as a nonprofit, but we've signed on. Brockton Area Transit has signed on, and there's a number of you. So I know that Vronsky is on. He text him and he wants to meet. I just haven't gotten back to him. So I'm going to make sure I give Nelson Vronsky's number so we can get him on board. And yes, Cynthia, thank you. You've agreed to be ambassador, and you've been reaching out because, again, it's not just businesses and private property. It is nonprofit as well. So any help that we can get from you, Amanda put the email address in there and the DBA phone. Anyway, most of you know how to get a hold of me, but if you get a hold of me, I'm going to just have you get to Nelson. Let me give you, do we have the number in there, Amanda? If we can pop the DBA number.
Yep.
Thank you. Do you need that for me? I'll get it. It's
I got it.
774-539-8226. So we're going to make this as an item for each of our meetings. It's that important. The DBA would be more than happy to gather with, call it a group of folks. But right now it just really is the foot patrol of being out there and Nelson introducing people. I'm like, who is that? I never heard of them. So any questions about the Business Improvement District, just either unmute yourself or raise your hand. I don't see any. Thank you, Nelson, for being on that. And if you do get an email from Nelson, it's as if you're talking to me. So I appreciate that. So moving on, if I can, I know that Derek Salamone is on. Maybe Derek, if you'd like just to give an update, besides getting always texts from me. So Derek.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. I don't think it's been a while since we've been on, but and I may have said this last meeting, but if I did, I apologize, but I'll say it again. Well, we started the downtown walking beats / bike beats again. There's 3 or 4 shifts a week that go out. They're gonna widen out to the Montello Business District and as well as Campello, but they've been focused on the downtown because of the issues with the bridges and around the lofts and building Mary, City Hall, basically downtown area. Spoke with Lieutenant Schliemann yesterday as well, and we were talking about CIT, and he wanted me to make sure I reminded, well, I actually tell everybody that they've dedicated 3 shifts a week with an officer and a clinician to go above and beyond. We already have them riding with the guys every day, with the officers every day out in the street, but 3 extra shifts focusing on just crisis intervention, stopping off with people that are outside seeing if they need services, whatnot. But if there is an active issue, mental health breakdown, whatever it may be, they're directed directly to that call with the clinician. So that person who's in crisis can get it either go to the hospital section, whatever it may be. So those are 3 dedicated shifts that are going out now. I don't know how long that's gonna last, but I think it's more of a, let's see how it goes and potentially maybe, have more of them out there. I know there's been some issues again. I know the lofts had an issue yesterday with the broken windows. I tried to reach out to Jason yesterday, but I just got inundated with other things and I never did. So when I come back tomorrow, I'll do that. Try to reach out to him and see what we can do. I'll try to look at the cameras as well. For those of you who don't know, I do have access to a lot of the cameras downtown. So if there is any issues, crimes that may have happened or did happen and potentially are on video, just let me know. I can look at them. I do have access, like I said, the city cameras, the lofts cameras, the new building right at the corner of Center and Montello, Mary's building as well. So I do have a lot of access within the city to try to catch some of these individuals. I think that's basically right about it for now, but if anybody has any questions, I'll feel free to answer them.
And Derek, I may have missed this, but the parking authority also has new cameras that have been installed.
I've heard that. I don't know. I gotta talk with those guys to see where the access is, if we actually have them at the station or not, if it's a separate thing, if they're tied in with our system or not. I haven't been able to reach out to them yet either, but I will. And if that's the case, that's just another advantage that we'll have.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Can I ask, Amanda, there is, Counselor Thompson is in the waiting room. Could you let him in?
Yep, he's in.
Oh, good, thank you. Oh, perfect. How about any other questions, for, Officer, Salomon? If not, Jeff, Derek, sorry. Derek, thank you.
Yeah, actually,
Again,
Mary, one more thing before we start with Counselor Thompson. I've somehow managed to get my way into the quality of life stuff as well. So myself and Lieutenant Schleem are kind of splitting duties with that. I've been going to meetings and I've seen John there and things like that, but I'm taking a little bit more active role in that as well. So I'll have a little bit more information, deeper knowledge of what's going on in regards to quality of life in the task force than I have in the past.
thank you.
Mhm.
And again, those were always the priority, is safety and cleanliness. And so thank you. Appreciate it, Derek.
Sure.
I know that I had, before we go to Counselor Thompson, John Messia and Jasmine Bradshaw were on. I believe John's still on, but Jasmine had to drop off. For those who saw the newsletter, we've added just a section that Jasmine will provide us on a monthly basis of coordinating the activities. She runs a homelessness task force that I do attend, and she just gives some highlights, and what we share is for all of you to share. And so just want to say thank you to Jasmine. John, would you like to just say a few words before I bring on Counselor Thompson?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mary. Jasmine texted me after she jumped off. Her updates were that they continue working on clearing private properties of encampments. She works hand in hand with the Brockton Police Department, and that's the update from her, that she wants to, get that word to everyone that if there is a private property that you feel needs addressed, get it right over to her and she'll take care of it. As far as from my end, the updates I have is there is a grant that was just given, and it will be voiced on the Health Equity Task Force meeting, which is tomorrow at 2:30. There is a grant that was given to Pinnacle Partnership for $50,000 to continue working for wellness, mental health wellness with the youth in the schools, in the communities of the municipality. That would be initiated as of this week. There is a contract that is with the Atlantic Hill Wellness Nurses, which is the wellness nurses from the city. They were signed back into doing the groundwork, boots on the ground in the city. So you'll see now from here until the end of the fiscal year, June 30th, you'll see them in and around Brockton in most of the playgrounds, most of the the nonprofits, the Council on Aging, the housing communities. They'll be doing events, they'll be doing home visits, they'll be doing numerous encounters with people in the communities on mental health awareness and mental health checks, and doing a broad list of what they do. So anyone that wants to tune in tomorrow, 2:30 on the Health Equity Task Force, they should have a representative on there to go into the detailed work that they propose to do in the scope of their service. So that's the updates I have as far as going into this week. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, John. I know I haven't been able to make some of these meetings, but they are very informative. It gives an opportunity for exchange back and forth. So thank you. And before you sign off, John, again, progress is always important. So when there's lots of traffic in downtown, that's good progress. That means things are going on. But there are some challenges. Every time we hold a meeting, I always say, hey, make sure you, allow for about a half hour. Can you just, let me back up. Commissioner Hill's office always provides us with what's coming for the next week, and the Amanda and Elise and Megan put together a great bulletin that we promote out there. But can you talk a little bit about, it's going to be a long summer, right?
Yes, it is. So I've met with Commissioner Hill and asked him to work with Jeff to come up with a way that we can actually improve on the app Waze. So what they've done as of this week is they've installed Waze onto the city website. So the people that are in their car, they can just click on the city site and get all of the locations of where the construction and the detours are. So that's the first initial step for going in the right direction to inform people in ready time to be able to navigate around the city. The next thing we've done is met with Chief Perez, and we're going to be calling into the heads of National Grid, Eversource, and Xfinity to be able to talk with the heads of the companies and their representatives to be able to come up with the work orders ahead of time so that we can utilize those and have those somehow ready time for people to know where the actual detours are.
John, that's great. And I know we're going to lead into Councilor Thompson right after you, but that I think is the biggest thing. People just need notice. It just needs notice.
Sure.
But again, it's progress and what needs to be done because there's a lot of activity downtown. So thank you to you and the mayor's office for being on today. There is a question in the chat, but I'm going to send a separate email to you, John, and to Claire, so you guys get connected on the health equity list. So thank you.
Okay.
Councilor Thompson, can we have you come on next?
Yes. Hey, Mary. Hey, everyone. Great to see you all again. Yeah, quick update on a few things. Number one is just last weekend, we had Keep Brockton Beautiful Day. It was a huge success. Over 200 participants. It was one of the largest turnouts for Keep Brockton Beautiful Day we've had, maybe ever. It was a really successful day. I was stationed over at Salisbury Park with a few guys who've been over in Salisbury Park, including Bill Hogan, Mike Smith, Brandon Scales, who've been working Salisbury Park in that Plouffe School area for the past few years. And so we're really, trying to increase the natural beauty and safety and cleanliness of these public parks. And, thank you to everyone, especially Heights Crossing, who sponsored the event, but also our beautification committee, Matt Stanton, the chair of beautification, a lot of people involved in this process. So a very successful day. We really made an impact. The city's efforts, your efforts do make a difference. So thank you, thank you to everybody who showed up for that day. I don't know what's been talked about before, but come June 13th at 11 a.m. Will be the ribbon cutting for the marvelous Marvin Hagler statue. This is going to be done on Petronelli Way. And it's going to be a great event. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who attend. Marvin Hagler is right there is is an icon in Brockton. Unfortunately, he's passed away, as did his mother last year. But some family members will be there to honor Marvelous. And it's going to be a great event. And anybody who's available, please come out and join us in this statue unveiling.
Counselor, if I could just for 1 second on that, just, I know, we will have post this information as well as on the DBA website and social media. And just a special shout out to State Representative Jerry Cassidy, because I know that he was able to secure state funding for this event.
That's correct. About $150,000 or $180,000 Representative Cassidy was able to secure for the statue. So yeah, I want to join you in thanking Rep Cassidy for his efforts. It's going to be I've seen some pictures of the statue. It looks amazing. So please join us if you're available. Over the last few weeks, I did have an opportunity to meet both with the mayor and property owners regarding Sycamore Grove. So it looks like some of the funding for Sycamore Grove has dried up. A lot of that funding was redirected towards the public safety complex and the needs of our public safety complex. Additionally, potentially, we have a few more, a little more money coming to us from the county, but that's another conversation we're going to have with the county to provide some additional ARPA funding. If they do, then we'll be fully funded for Sycamore Grove. But ultimately, whether the project as originally intended moves forward, probably not. But we are still moving forward with activating that space by implementing some outdoor dining for the Main Street restaurant owners along that area. And so, we'll keep working to activate that space. So it'll be a place that we can all visit, join together for civic events, cultural events, music events. We're still going to activate the space. It just may require different revenue sources and a longer time frame. I did have the opportunity to speak with Chief Perez. She informed me that she'll be directing some mental health resources downtown. The city council accepted a grant earlier this year that allows for mental health experts to travel with our Brockton PD to provide mental health treatment or, mental health treatment for those who need it. She said Chief Perez is going to direct some of those mental health resources downtown. And so we're just going to try to get better situational awareness of who is in our downtown, what are their needs, can we provide those needs to them? I know we have a lot of different resources that kind of do that, but Brockton PD needs to have more tactical and situation awareness downtown, and they'll be trying to increase that awareness with some of this grant funding. I've also been in contact with our district attorney's office. Right now, they're seeking grant funding to establish a community court. This community court would be one which would address some of our quality of life issues downtown, where we would, develop a court in which anybody who's arrested, whether criminally or ticketed civilly, would be directed towards this community court. Maybe provide some required mental health treatment, drug treatment, other services, if we could find them, housing services. So working with the district attorney's office to provide a court who would be specifically tasked with addressing some of our quality of life issues downtown. So we would hope to have this court up and running probably by the beginning of next year. There are some funding issues that are involved. It takes a lot to really put a resource like this together, but those preliminary discussions with the DA's office, with the court, with the city, with the Brockton PD, those conversations are happening right now with the expectation that this court will be up and running early next year. And I think it will be another great resource to, to try to deal with some of these quality of life issues downtown.
Counselor, just if on that one, if I, the district attorney's office has also reached out to the DBA for our involvement, and we've offered, Old Colony Planning Council has offered Paul Umano, our grant writer, to assist them on any grant funding too.
Yeah, so we appreciate all the help we can get on that. I'm sure Paul will, needle in a haystack and really help find some funding, because it's a great idea. And if we all work together, we can try to address the situation holistically, even on the court end of it all. So much appreciated to the district attorney's office for, putting something like this together. So kind of on the same idea, I've also been speaking with the district attorney's office about bringing back the Safe Streets community meetings. Prior to COVID, we were the district attorney's office, both at federal agencies, state agencies, county agencies, and our local PD. We're holding pretty regular quarterly Safe Street meetings, where we get the community and all of these levels of law enforcement together, just to talk about the issues that our community's facing, and let them know what resources are available, and kind of try to fill them in on, task force and different resources that we all have to try to address some of these quality of life issues, criminal matters downtown and throughout the city. So we tentatively have a date in June to restart these meetings. That date hasn't been confirmed yet, so I don't want to put it out there as of right this second. But expect the community, the Safe Streets meetings to be up and running again. And please, if you have the ability to attend any of these meetings, please do so. A lot of great information shared at these meetings. On the city council side, budget season is coming upon us. And so the third week in June, I believe, so Monday the 17th in June, that will be the kickoff of budget season. And so a lot of good information will be shared during that process. The community will have an opportunity for public statements on the 17th, I believe, at 5:30. That hasn't been posted yet, but that's kind of what we tentatively agreed to. So if anybody has any comments they would like to make in an open session, you'll be able to do so on June 17th. And then I know this is not specifically a downtown issue, but it's an issue that's raised by a lot of people. Main Street, North Main Street, and the condition of North Main Street. It's expected that North Main Street will be repaved in June. Maybe that will also run into July, but we're trying to really sign off on the contract to get North Main Street from essentially that East Battle Street all the way to the Avon line to be completely repaved curb to curb due to the water pipe installation and the gas main installation. And so I know that street's really in bad condition right now, but it will be repaved within the next month or two. And so I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. So that is on the docket and will get done. That's a quick update. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. Again, Mary, great to see you. And I'm looking forward to a nice, hot, warm summer, hot, sunny summer. And today's the perfect day. So please, after this meeting, I'll give you all the rest of the day off. So
Okay. Thank you, Counselor. We'll take that one home to the bank. Listen, there's a couple of things just highlighting. So again, I think hearing from Officer Derek Solomon, and then hearing from John Messia with Jasmine, and then when working in partnership with each other, private-public partnership, it truly is can be so beneficial for all of us. So thank you for those that are still hanging on. I know we had a few people drop off. But the last thing well, particularly with the counselor and then even with John, is the, you know, while the Keep Brockton Beautiful Day is one day, we really, as a Downtown Brockton Association, want to continue the efforts of keeping downtown clean. The Old Colony Planning Council and the DBA have been supporting a private entity, Alex Hoxie, who is the business owner of Clean City Crew. He has secured several contracts with private business owners to keep their property. Again, it's for de minimis amount, $500 a month. It's not me going out there. I can go on and do my regular job. He does a great job, and we will continue to promote and support him. So if you are a private business that would like to secure him, again, it's a bid-like entity where you hire someone privately and not necessarily. Thank you very much, Elise, for pulling that up. You know, we're not depending upon, but we're also just not relying upon the city to do everything. Again, it's not because I don't think they have the capacity, I mean, or want to do it. It's just they really just don't have the capacity. And as you heard from John and others, that there are programs that they're working on to assist with perhaps those that have either some mental health or some substance use. And again, I know it's not my employees that are dropping things outside the building, it's others, but somehow to come up with a campaign to do that and keeping downtown clean. So keep an eye out for when we're going to be doing some further group cleanups. So thank you, Elise, for pulling that up. And then just lastly, it's just what's in the newsletter. So the counselor and I know the mayor's office coordinating on the Hagler event. But so if we continue to go on, that's June 13th. All of these will be on our website and also on our social media. Thank you very much, Elise. Coming up is the Memorial Day Parade on Monday, May 27th. The city's Veterans Office put a lot of work into it. Please come out and support. If you are a property owner, take this flyer. We'll share the flyer that you can share with your residents. It is the time, the map is there. It's a wonderful day to, again, honor our veterans. Thank you, Elise. We'll move on to all the other activities. Again, in the newsletter, go back to it. It has Jasmine's update, but also these resources that I continue to share. These are real resources for property owners about who to call, where to go if there are things going on in the downtown, but upcoming training and business development. Thank you. I may have someone. Okay, this is actually, Amanda, do you want to just talk about, this is from the Neighbor Works, just about the upcoming training?
Yeah. So just we teach home buyer education classes twice a month, every month, once in person, once on Zoom, but 4 to 5 times a year, we try to offer our classes in Portuguese / Cape Verdean Creole. So we have a class coming up in June. So that's just information about the registration. And then if you look at our calendar, I'll drop the link in the chat. We do also have some upcoming free business development trainings from Trish. So a lot of great stuff going on. It's all free. So I encourage folks to share this resource with clients or constituents that they speak with.
Thank you, Amanda. And let me give another shout out to Neighbor Works. Amanda's time and her volunteerism to the DBA is unbelievable. But also, she serves on the executive committee, but also Neighbor Works is a partner, a very strong partner in the downtown, their developments and what they're doing. And addition to that, Cindy Pendergrass serves on many other activities as well. So just a thank you to Neighbor Works and their support of the downtown, period. And then the upcoming events, really look at, these are all in there. The plant sale, which just happened, but we sent this out last week. So the Brockton Garden Club is a member, but also we have the Brockton Library is doing a number of things. We have the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm not going to go through these individually. Keep an eye out for our social media. It is all going to be out there. I know not everybody's does it in that fashion, but we really try to support everyone and the work that you are all doing. So again, if you have something that's coming up and you want us to promote it and you're a paid member, absolutely wonderful, even if you're not a paid member, if it's for the greater good, please consider becoming a member. But again, the Brockton Library has ongoing, the Council on Aging has lots of activities. And when you are my age, where you are above 60, we're always looking for some things to do. So again, we're a little bit ahead of schedule unless somebody has anything else, if you would like to share. Oh, and Beauregard would like to.
Sorry. No, I did want to say a couple of things. I heard. that-
Mary, can you have Ann come closer? We can't hear her.
I'll come up there. Let's see. Yes, okay. I'm sorry, the farmer's market, I heard, I don't want to be spreading a rumor, is supposed to be beginning June 14th. Apparently they received that grant. And I guess they're going to be set up near the memorial, the firefighter Strand. I can never remember. Strand. Okay. Meanwhile, they had a marvelous event despite the miserable weather on Sunday, May 19th. And it was with Wildlands Trust that's celebrating 50 years. And the reason I want to highlight two things is they had tons of valuable information. One of them was from DCR that now all of Brockton can get trees. Okay, so I thought that was, I wanted to mention that. And I wanted, again, that people, I'm not representing BCA officially, I'm a member and volunteer, that any of these announcements, please feel free to contact them. Michelle she helps out, but I mean, different people are answering the phones, 508-580-2228, because you'd be surprised, people have it on, in their homes and whatever. Just want to highlight that. And the thing is, they're far more tech savvy than myself, and they have various social media that also can let that out. And I believe, and I also want to highlight, okay, of course, I'm biased, Broughton Beer Company, and I'm just very excited for them that now that they have this opportunity to distribute, they're good stuff. And yep, so that's me. Okay,
Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you, Amanda, for having to just to let us know that what you can hear and not hear. So lots of good things going on. We are going to hold a meeting. We're gonna probably surpass a couple of the meetings, but we're gonna be looking for some activities to bring us together, including potentially a little tour of different restaurants and bars that we all can gather at and support our downtown businesses. So that's to be determined. It's on my list of lots of things in my mind I want to do. But any other shout outs from anybody that's on? Bronski, you, Nelson, and I are going to set up a time to meet. So thank you for being on. For those that don't know, right, they're all witnesses, I know. But thank you, everyone. I know New Heights is on and just a couple other shout outs. So thank you, everybody, and particularly to my old colony planning staff, because I do lean on them quite a bit. But thank you. Enjoy the day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you.